Hello, hello. Welcome to the Deconstructed Sessions live from the Real Music Nashville studios. My special guest today, Mr. Eric Erdman.
Happy to be here, man.
My buddy. Man, it's going to be a great time.
It usually is with me and you.
Welcome to Nashville again. I know you're here a lot now, but
Thank you.
you've been writing.
I have, yeah. I wrote a couple good ones today I'm proud of.
Yep. Tim Baker and
Yeah, Timothy Baker this morning, and then me and Jared Neiman and Dan Smalley wrote this afternoon. Got a good one.
let me welcome all y'all here as well. Y'all can make noise today if y'all want to.
Now he says it.
Well, everybody except Jenna,
Oh,
because
I'm on your team.
no, this is going to be cool. We're going to talk about some music, and we're going to jump into some good stuff and give everybody a little glimpse of who you are behind the guitar.
I'm not sure I know the answer to this, but we'll try. We'll figure it out together.
We met at the Frank. Was it Frank Brown?
I think so. It's hard to know. So I used to hang out with Wayne Mills all the time. We were
Right.
running buddies back in the day. And Kyle, your brother Kyle, was in Wayne's band, so I knew Kyle since back then. So I think we had been in the same place a few times and probably just said hey, but we didn't become friends probably until Frank Brown, a handful of years back. I'm not sure, but it feels like I don't remember you not being like my right hand man. You know what I mean? Like it feels like you've been there the whole time.
And we wrote a song the first time with the first Frank Brown.
Yeah.
That was with, Rob Aldridge.
Rob Aldridge. Yep.
River Dan, Davis Nicks.
No, it was just me, you, Rob. I mean, we were all there, but
Right.
Davis wasn't in on that song. But yeah, it was I don't think it was me, you, Riverdale, Rob. I think that's it. Maybe I might be wrong. I don't know. Davis was around for sure, but I'm just saying I think he had to run to the Bam or
The
something.
song was called "Living My Best Life."
Living my best life.
I remember it. River Dan recorded it on his record. It's so good.
Yeah. All the rest of us were like, man, we should do this song. But when you hear River Dan do it, you're like, never mind. You embody that song. If ever there was somebody who embodies a song, it's him.
It's funny you say that because we're gonna get into that a little bit about how when you write a song, who does it, how's that happen? You know?
That's part of the magic. I think that's
Yeah.
that's interesting. The casting.
Well, before we get into that though, tell us a little bit for some of the people that don't know who Eric Erdman is. I know you well, but for somebody that don't know you, tell us a little bit about where you're from and how you grew up, what you do, and all that good stuff.
Well, I was born and raised in Mobile, Alabama, and there's a rich music heritage there with, Jimmy Buffett and Wet Willie and Will Kimbrough and all the, a lot of other people. But we were fortunate enough to be from there because when we had no business being on stages with professionals, they were kind of on the job training us. So we got a good young music career, and then I was just playing acoustic guitar around town, and I had a song got on the radio down there, and it was kind of like a regional little small hit, and two of the people I really looked up to in the music scene were like, we want to be your band. And I was like, well, of course. And they were like, we'll do whatever you want to do. But they were kind of from the rock funk world, and I was doing like singer-songwriter stuff. So it's like it only kind of makes sense to use some of my style, but just see what we do together.
Yeah.
And we kind of took off down this path that was more like Red Hot Chili Peppers with a little more acoustic harmony, but that kind of thing. We did that for a long time, and we toured the whole world and played with tons and tons of people. We opened for the Wooten Brothers on tour, and all. We did some things I'm very proud of. Played a bunch of USO tours, and but during that time, I was kind of putting my acoustic singer-songwriter thing was at my heart, was kind of on the back burner. I was doing it, but it was kind of in the shadows, I guess. And during that time, we signed with Rick Hall at Fame in Muscle Shoals and as writers. And so I like half lived in Muscle Shoals, half lived in Mobile, and we wrote, for maybe close to 10 years, 8 or 9 years up there. And then through that, the band eventually broke up, but then since then I've been just traveling the world playing acoustic guitar and singing songs. And a lot of other things have happened along the way I never expected. Like I produced some records and do these things, and through that I've gotten to play guitar. I'm in the Buddy Rich Big Band, which is that's is a wild tangent, but that's just because I produced a record for them and they needed a guitar player. And then I worked with Nadira Shakur, who's an R&B artist, and that's because I was doing a record. It all just kind of randomly happens after that. So I don't know. I just hold on wherever music goes, but I'd say 85 to 90% of everything I do is with this thing, writing songs with people like this guy.
Yeah. You know, it's cool to have that mindset. You just sort of go with it because sometimes people get there through, you know, events or maybe something that's happened in their life that gives them that mindset. Just go with it because when you can do that, you never know where you're going to be, but you get to do all these. How many hats you wear? You know, produce, you write.
Yeah, it's weird. I never thought that. I mean, I never thought I'd get to have people want to hear any song that I wrote as a young person. I'd be amazed that anybody would want to hear any song that I wrote. So I'm just amazed by that. But also I never set out to be a producer or bass player, which I do on some tracks, or all these other hats like you're saying that I wear that I'm like, I didn't foresee that coming, but it's a cool opportunity, and it's like, can you do it? You're like, yes.
So Will Kimbrough is to blame?
Will Kimbrough kind of is to blame because he's the one we were looking up to, and he clearly can do everything.
My gosh, man.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Will Kimbrough.
Me too, big time. So much so I'm going to try to well, he doesn't. We were just at a show discussing some things. I'll leave that undiscussed, but Will and I will be working on some stuff in the future, I hope, and I believe that to be.
I just played my first show with him, but you know him pretty well.
Yeah.
Man, it was so cool to hang out with him a little bit after his show and talk to him. If there's 7,000 chords on the guitar that you can hit, he probably hit 6,872 of them.
You didn't want those other ones anyway.
He is so good, man. But I didn't know he was from Mobile, so you grew up watching and listening to him.
Yeah,
huh?
I grew up listening to him, and like that was the people we were setting our guide, you know, using as our guide and star.
I mean,
so it's cool to see him.
Could you pick anybody better?
No, and it was heavily influential to me. And so over the years now, we've played hundreds of shows together. So now he's like my buddy. But I never take it for granted or forget the fact that, you know, there was a whole bunch of like, you're Will Kimbrough, you know, which I still have that feeling.
So the Buddy Rich Big Band. If COVID wouldn't have hit, you would have been on a world tour this year.
That's right. So. Like I said, the Buddy Rich Big Band is a big band, and Buddy Rich was one of the best drummers, if not the best drummer of all time. But he passed away in the late 80s. And so since that time, you know, the band doesn't tour without him, but they would get together for like big drumming events and have the remaining living horn section together and have fill-in drummers. And then they also now have a permanent drummer who's named Greg Potter, who's very good. And but they didn't play that frequently because Buddy Rich has passed away. But they unearthed the final recording Buddy ever did in London at Ronnie Scott's, and I got to be in the room and help them mix it, which was a huge honor for me because that's archival, you know, legendary performance, last recorded show, and it was I don't want to be blasphemous, but I think it's the best thing he ever played. Like, he was playing unbelievable. If you don't, I'd recommend go and listen to that record. It's unbelievable. And like I said, that was only months before he passed away. But after that, now they had a record. Now there's an international booking agent that wanted to put them. Here's the new Buddy Rich album. So then they were going to go tour. So we had already started prepping for the tour, and we already did like a handful of dates, like 5 or 6 dates, and then Rod Stewart came to our show because he knows them, like the band. So he came and said, "This is exactly the band I want to be the backing band," because he did the American Songbook tour. He was going to do another type thing like that, and so like we hung out with us, and like they had already started sending plane tickets and getting it was happening. We were going to Tokyo and all over the place, Milan, and
I mean.
Yeah. And the month, and I got so crushed because I was like, "This is the biggest tour I was ever going to be on," playing with backing up Rod Stewart. And then I was like, "Oh my God, it's so crazy!" And I was going to go to China, to Beijing, and Shanghai. And I was like, "Wait a minute!" I was like, "I could have been stuck in Shanghai, China when COVID hit, and just been behind a wall somewhere." I was like, "I'm kind of probably worked out."
Juanita wouldn't have liked that.
yeah. My mom is like my biggest supporter and my best friend. So like,
well, 2 things. One, you're going to tour the world anyway, so don't worry about that. But 2, I know I'm a country boy from Alabama, but man, Rod Stewart's one of my favorites.
Oh, he's great. He's everybody. I mean he's as good. He's it doesn't matter genre. That dude's
to be on a world tour with Rod Stewart. I don't know how much that's the ceiling. I think I don't know if you can get him bigger. Maybe Michael Jackson. I don't know.
Right.
Just say
he's not touring these days.
But right.
sorry. That was bad.
Yeah.
Sorry. No disrespect. Didn't mean.
Well, I had no idea that you grew up with Will Kimbrough, and so it makes a lot more sense now why you play the guitar.
Grew up admiring Will Kimbrough.
Yeah, I got you. Well, so the Deconstructed sessions is we take a song,
right?
We deconstruct it, and we're gonna get back to some of that stuff here in a minute.
Okay.
But we got to do a song.
Okay.
So what song do you want to deconstruct?
All up my hand and like hit somebody. Like I've never done that. And Radney's such a sweet-hearted person. He just kind of like teared up and he's like, "Honey, I hope you never do." And then I was like, "Let's write this down." I was like, Radney, we have to write this song. And then he's like, "Oh, that is a good idea for a song." So we started it. Radney and I started it, and we were really proud of what we had. But sometimes songs don't cooperate. They just stick, and they just sit there. And that was one of those where we're like, we absolutely love this chunk of this song. And it sat there for a year or something, or more, maybe 2 years. I don't know. It just sat there. We just wouldn't, and we'd chisel on it a little bit, and we go forget that and write another song. We'd come back to it and roadblock, write on another song. And then Chad and I were writing our kneecaps off. We're like writing every day, every time we hang out. And with great result in some of my favorite songs every time I sit down with him. And so I said, well, this is great. I know Radney doesn't, he's not like stingy, like I don't want my rights. He like if the song can be bettered, he wouldn't care if I brought in a Chad. So I was like, "Hey Chad, you want to help me with this?" And he was like, "Absolutely. I got it. I love this idea." And this dude over here is like an idea fountain. So we have a shared note, and there's like Webster's dictionary worth of note. Like there's the lyrics that we had, and then there's a line, and then like these are Chad's ideas, and you just like scroll forever. And I was like, it's the Iliad. Like it's so much goodness in here. I don't even know where to start. So then it sat like that for a couple months because we were like, the song is in this note, but we can't put out this. Yeah. This is more than the wreck of the Edmonds Fitzgerald. Like it just keeps going. So,
oh my gosh.
So we were he invited me to the Pace Place in Lake Martin for a songwriter retreat, and one of the best songwriters I've ever seen, Scott Sean White, he was there, and we got to talking, and Chad said, "I got an idea. Would y'all care if we brought in a fourth person to write on it? Because he's the song fixer. This is the guy. He's gonna be the one." And I was like, I just want the song to, like, that's kind of my thing. I just want the song to be right. Like, that's all I care about. And I was like, sure. And Scott Sean White listened. He goes, "I love that. Let me take it and just, think about it for a while." So we left. Like, I went to Alabama. Chad came back to Nashville. Scott Sean White went to Texas. And then a little while later, it was like, "Hey, y'all want to get together on a Zoom and talk about it?" And we got on there. And sure enough, Scott had gone through, taken all the good parts that Chad had, wove them into this tapestry, and then like added this line added the chorus, and we were like, "You have fixed it. You have done it. This is now done." So that long journey got us to this song right here, and it definitely would not be correct without any of those. Either of y'all. So like, I'm so thankful that you helped, and then that you also introduced it to Scott Sean White, because this is one of my favorite ones, and it wouldn't be here without that trip.
This is Eric Erdman. This is Hope You Never Do.
You can make an extra 100 if you cut a couple corners, and no one would know but you. Let your beer buzz tell you to cold cock your cousin when you're feeling silver bulletproof. Sell that guitar when it gets hard, you're too scared to lose. But I hope you never do.
You can drown all your sorrows in a Kentucky bottle instead of asking for help. You can skip the I'm sorry's and blame everybody instead of owning it yourself. Slam down the phone on the only one with the stones that tell you the truth. Oh, but I hope you never do.
Sometimes you make choices, boy, but sometimes they make you. You can walk that road in my old boot, go through what I've been through, but I hope you never do.
You cannot buy the flowers, try to get by without them. Act like it's no big deal. Keep your mouth shut cause you think it ain't tough to tell her how you really feel. You can lose a girl that saved your life cause your pride's got something to prove. Oh, but I hope you never do.
Sometimes you make choices, boy, but sometimes they make you. You can walk that road in my old boots, go through what I've been through, but I hope you never do.
Spend half your life mad all the time about what you think this world owes you, but I hope you never do.
Sometimes you make choices, boy, but sometimes they make you. You can walk that road in my old boot, go through the hell that I've been through, but God, I hope you never do.
I hope you never do. Yeah, Eric Erdman, y'all.
Chad Wilson. And thank you to Scott Shawn White and Radney Foster.
Songwriters, we listen all the time, no matter what is going on around us.
So be careful what you say.
Yep, no matter what. Like that song and that whole story of how everybody come together. And it was just not even, 3 weeks later after that, we was in the studio, and Radney Foster came in the studio.
Yep.
And we got to introduce him to Blue Foley.
That was a really cool moment because Radney was a big influence for, you have special moments in your life where the right artist and the right song just hits at the time you need it. It's music's like medicine, and sometimes right when you need it most, that song saves you. And apparently one of Radney's songs had done that for Blue, and then Blue subsequently became a huge fan and knows all this stuff. Anyway, it was like the first time Blue had met Radney, so it was cool to get to put those together and see two people I look up to like kind of have a moment. It was good.
Yeah. It's funny because, tell me if you do this. When you have heroes or somebody that you look up to that you've never met, you have this idea about who they are in your mind, And then when you meet them for the first time, either they're going to surpass all your expectations or they're going to fail miserably, right?
Right. It's it's great when it goes the good way.
It is, and I'll say that Radney Foster.
There's no doubt.
Yes.
You cannot meet Radney Foster and think he's anything but a genuine, nice human being because he is.
Absolutely. So that once
he
again,
is not paying me. I'm not on Radney Foster's payroll. I would be, but I'm not.
Well, let's go back. We're gonna do some more music here in a minute, I know, but let's go back a little bit. So that's how you grew up. You grew up in Mobile.
Mm-hmm.
You had some pretty. You've led a pretty rewarding life.
Yeah.
But you've also had some situations in your life where, maybe a lot of people couldn't have overcome.
Well, I had a pretty rough childhood. I just had divorce in the family, and it wasn't very pretty, and there's a bunch of ugly stuff that went with that. But at about 13 or 14, I was an athlete. You can't tell from my songwriter physique, but at one point I was I was a promising athlete, and I played everything. I mainly played baseball, but I played football, basketball, whatever, everything. And like happened often, I rolled my ankle, but this time it just didn't heal right. It was like, usually it'd heal up in a week or two, and it had been like 3 months, and I did the whole baseball season, and it was just swole up. And it just wouldn't go down. I was like, something ain't right. And finally we went to the doctor, and they're like, we've never seen this before. And I had to go to Birmingham to a specialist, and they're like, this is the most unique situation because you have really nasty bone cancer, and it should be how much it has grown we can see. And at this point, it should be in every organ of your body, and you should either not be here or be short for this world. But because your leg is growing still, and I know in science that, they teach you that there's the bone shaft and then a bone cap, and then there's, cartilage between it. That's how you have a growth spurt. That cartilage keeps turning to bone, and then eventually it all fuses into bone. But at this point, I still had cartilage there, and it was growing rapidly, and that bone cancer was there, and my body just reacted and built a bubble of really dense bone around it. And I had this stuff in there that should have killed me that my body just was holding on. It was just in there, and they said, we've never seen this, so we don't really know the procedure, but we're gonna try to just melon ball it out and just take something the size of a pool ball out of your ankle. And then because my ankle, then I didn't have an ankle, they had to cut into my hips. I have a big hip scar where they had to take donated bone and part of my hip to weave in there to make my ankle. And they were like no radiation, no chemo, because of how it did, and they did it, and they said we might have to still amputate your foot if that didn't work. And best case scenario, that's fused, and this leg's still going to grow. So in a couple of years, this leg's going to be drastically longer than this one, and you have to get corrective shoes your whole life. And another miracle, as soon as that one fused, my body made this one fuse. So I'm the same. I've never had weird corrective shoes. And then next year, I led the region in stolen bases. So some of my collegiate, I mean that was mainly from determination, because I was nothing. The whole time I was on crutches, I was like, I will be back on the baseball diamond.
Boy, somebody was praying for you.
Yeah, it was a heavy. So to your point, as a young teenager, when you deal with that, it's really. I'm not wishing that on anybody else. I'm not saying you should go get yourself some bone cancer. You'll have a good perspective on life. But
it made you who you are, and
it does help with when things, especially in the music industry, can hit you in the face pretty hard regularly. Yeah. But it's like, oh, that person didn't want to sign me for my songs. It's not bone cancer. You know what I mean? I'll survive. I'll be here tomorrow. And it has kept a smile on my face through a lot of hardship the whole time.
And that's why everybody that loves you, because your disposition, your attitude just about anything is always so positive. And
when you make music, man, I ain't even supposed to be here anymore.
What a miracle that is.
Borrowed time.
God. I mean, to a lot of people can't understand that. We get to hang out with you, and you get to show us every day what that's like. And you don't know that, but you do that for us.
Well, thank you. And another reason I think I've fallen in love. I love music since I was an infant, but I think the reason it after that kind of solidified even more for me was because we're all going to pass away at some point, and it's what lasts, you know what I mean? And it's I feel like, not that I have some epic catalog I'm not Michael Jackson. I don't have those songs yet, but I'm saying the idea is, even if they resonate with one person, if it's like I was saying with Blue and Radney, if that's some person's jam, then I can check out, and it's still going to be there for them anyway. So the idea is to get as many songs as many people as you can, and not because they need to know my name, just because that you did something that's lasting.
Man, well, that's cool. I mean, I've gotten to know Juanita a little bit.
My mom, yeah.
I mean, I've got to hang out with her a lot.
She's
so
killer.
She is. How was she? What kind of role did she play through all that?
Oh well, you know, she's like the perfect mother, and she had a rough young life, rough with my dad, who was no good, you know, not good, and made it through all that, and then anyway, just taking care of me, taking care of my brother, taking, you know, that whole thing, and then my stepdad, who was awesome and raised me like his son. That's like my dad, you know, who passed away a couple years ago. But she was basically tending people her whole existence. And she retired from the phone company. Then she retired again from the hospital. She worked like in the administration part of the hospital. And anyway, she's always just been a mom, like tending stuff. And of course, you know, having a kid with cancer like was wrecked her. She worried her to death. And she was so thankful that we got through that. But at 60, I'm trying to remember exactly that, but in her late 60s, she always comes to my gigs, and we were at a gig, and I set the gear up, and we went to get a coffee next door, and I just bumped into my buddy that I hadn't seen in a while, and we were catching up, and he said, what I've been doing is I've been hosting comedy open mic night, and you need to come up here and play some of your funny songs or do some of your funny, you know. I was like, I'm not qualified. Like, comedy is like a different whole thing. And, like, you know, I like playing my 2 funny songs and then getting back to the serious stuff. But, like, I would never step into the arena that I do not belong in, which is comedy. And over my shoulder, my kind late 60s mother or she might have been 70 at this point. But we're sitting there, and she's like, I'll do it. And I was like, what did you say? I was like, Mom, he's talking about, like, stand-up comedy, like, with a microphone. Like, you stand in front of people and tell jokes. She was like, sounds like something fun. I was like, did y'all lace my mom's coffee? Like, is she drunk? Like, what is going on? Because this sounds so out of norm for my mom. And she said, look, I don't know. I'm just trying different things right now because it's my first time in my life that I've just done for me. And I'm like, I'm your biggest fan. I will back you up if you wanted to do it, you know, ballet, like whatever. Like, do it. I'm here for it. So I was like, I'm telling everybody, because she does a lot of things with charity, and she does a lot of inspirational writing. So she has a fan base of people for other stuff. They would be equally shocked to know she was doing comedy. So I was like, I'm going to tell everybody. And she goes, please do me a favor. I'll be nervous if you do that. Don't put it on social media. And I was like, okay. So we did it. I went to watch her. She killed it. 5 minutes open mic, killed it. And there happened to be people in there that knew her randomly. So then they put it on social media, and then it just like went a buzz to everybody. Like, what do you mean? Like, you have to do it again, and we have to do a show. I mean, we have to be there. So then she did another open mic, and like it was jam packed with everybody. So she did 5 minutes, and then she got a call and got booked opening for one of my shows for 30 minutes. So her third gig is a paid 30-minute slot, which has never happened, I don't think, in the history of comedy. Yeah,
and sold out.
And then then she did one in Key West, one somewhere else, and then like her 4th or 5th show was an hour comedy, her headlining,
and killed it
and sold out again. So my mom suddenly is like, you know, she has a show coming up. She had shows canceled for COVID, but she has a show coming up in June 5th, and it's in Mobile, sold out. Candace is going.
What a story that is.
It's so inspirational. It feels so good to me.
Absolutely.
I was just so nervous. You know, I'd be nervous if you were like, I'm going to do comedy. I'm like, Chad, are you sure you want to do this? Like, this is.
I think everybody would be nervous about that.
But it's a daunt. I mean, I have so much respect for comedians because, I mean, cause think of it like this, especially, you know, in a town like this where there's so many super talented musicians. I mean, you play guitar, there's always somebody going to be sitting in there that could probably outplay you. So, you know, you're going to have somebody in the room that, if they were inclined, they could be like, I could do that better. But there's a lot of people who don't even play guitar. Now, imagine just telling jokes into a microphone. Everybody could talk. So now everybody thinks they could do it. You know what I mean? Like, so many people are like, you're used, you know, boo. Like, the hecklers are so much more for comedy than music. And it's like, man, what a tough gig. So when people pull it off, I'm just amazed. And it's not that I doubted my mom, not for 1 minute. It was just a shock to my system. And it took me a second to get it.
Well, I proudly wear my Juanita shirt. And
yeah.
I had every plans of being at one of those stops where she was going to be performing. COVID hit, so I still hadn't seen her live yet. But being that I spend a lot of time with y'all,
yeah,
I've heard one of her main jokes that she tells about. Oh, it's so funny. I ain't gonna give away or nothing, but she's so
funny,
good at
man.
it. She's just a natural. Yeah.
I got a show. I'm next Wednesday. I'm flying down to Isla Mujeres, Mexico, to play a songwriter thing, and she's doing a set. She's doing a set in Mexico next Friday or something.
I mean, she's supposed to be world.
International.
She's on a world tour. You're gonna be on a world tour with your mother. That's it.
So all you people.
That's how it comes back full circle. You're going on a world tour with Juanita.
Hey, ask me who I love more, Rod Stewart or Juanita. I'll say.
Right? Oh my gosh, that's
no
funny.
offense, Rod.
Won't you get some new songs? Let's play a song. We'll get back into some more. I want to talk more about that stuff. But
what song you want?
You got a new one of your new ones I like. Since we're talking about comedy, one of my good friends and one of my favorite writers is a buddy that we all come to know and love because he's so good. Is Trick Savage.
Oh man, Trick's the man. If y'all don't know Trick Savage, you should check him out. He's so awesome.
Probably a couple of the best songs ever written. I think Trick's written. I mean, he's got so many good songs. But
yeah.
We got an opportunity to go on a retreat to Montana a few weeks back, and you got a chance to. Was that your first time writing with Trick?
Yeah, it was. We hung out a bunch, but it was our first time writing.
Cool. And it was everything that you thought it was
me, Trick, and Terry Joe Box, which is another phenomenal.
One of my favorite writers.
Yeah.
What was it like writing with Trick?
Well, it's cool. Like Trick's the one that actually said it, but it's so appropriate. I'm gonna steal it. Trick, I'm stealing your phrase, but he was like, you never know what you're gonna get, even if you like the person, you like their catalog. But like when you go into a write, it's really like going on a first date. It can be just awkward, because you don't know. There's such a dance, like such a psychological thing. You have to get to know the person in a different way and all that, and that's really what songwriting. So he was like, I don't usually hold a high, hopes of like we're gonna write a #1 hit today. Like maybe you could, like you try it still, but it's like, because of the situation of being this awkward first date, it's like usually you're just doing good if you get a passable something in there. So he was saying that to say that we're all proud of this song because it's really cool. And this was Trick's idea fully. He had it, and me and TJ were like, I don't know how to do that. We were like walking around going, I don't know if that can be like lighthearted. It's like, it seems like it. Like we kept trying to make it like a serious, somber. He's like, no, I think it could be funny. We were like, I'm not sure, and we cycled around it like 100 times, and then once we got over the hump, we took off running, and then it was on. And the idea of this song is basically it comes from the vantage point of the it's not you, it's me in a relationship, and when you're a guitar player, you get to use that line a lot more often than when you're not.
Trick Savage, Terry Joe Box, and Eric Erdman.
Baby, sit down. We need to talk. Maybe leave that knife on the countertop. We fell in love, kind of accidental. You were looking to buy, I'm more of a rental. Might seem like this is coming from nowhere. So cuss me, hate me, but trust me, baby, you're gonna thank me later. Yeah, you're gonna thank me for what I ain't, when what I am is out of your way. Overwhelmed with gratitude over all I didn't put you through. Don't worry, no hurry, consider it a favor. You can thank me later. Burn my pictures, keep my car, maybe throw my clothes out in the yard. Trash me on the internet, tell the whole world I'm a piece of shit. I'm about to answer all your mama's prayers. Cuss me, hate me, but trust me, baby, you're gonna thank me later. You're gonna thank me for what I ain't, when what I am is out of your way. Overwhelmed with gratitude over all I didn't put you through. But don't worry, no hurry, consider it a favor. You can thank me later. lonesome, going nowhere, whiskey drinking, broke ass guitar player. You can thank me later for everything I ain't. What I am is out of your way. Overwhelmed with gratitude for all I didn't do for you. But don't worry, no hurry, consider it a favor. I'm about to wash myself right out of your hair. And you can thank me later.
Oh, that's amazing. So good. So good. That is so good.
Thank you. The genius of Trick Savage and TJ Box. I was along for the ride on that one.
So tell us what makes you what makes you what do you, I know how you live and how you look at your days, but what do you enjoy?
Man, it sounds cliche and silly, but like I'm so wrapped up in music. Like it's just like I wake up ready to write another. Like I said, that is it. That's what drives me every day. Like
I feel it.
I just like, food is just something you do between writing or playing songs. So it's like I do like to play disc golf. I played with Jeff yesterday. We went and played disc golf.
How'd y'all do? Who won?
Jeff had a handicap.
Are you not no good, Jeff?
It was his first time ever, first throw. He did very well, I should say.
Well good for you for getting out there.
My new best friend disc golf. So we're gonna all right, the three of us, we're going. Chad, you can come if you want
to. Jana's going?
Well,
I'm just so kidding.
Y'all have to be doubles partners.
Yeah, so what'd I ask you?
Well, we're just talking about what else I do, and I'm pretty boring. Like I love music, but like that's pretty much all I do. Like if I'm not making it, I'm like soaking it in from my buddies. And I realized recently I feel like such a like elitist or something, but I swear I'm not. But people are like, what do you listen to? And I want to be like, just like all my friends. Like, I don't even know what's on the radio. I mean, luckily some of my friends are on the radio, but like most of my friends aren't, and they're amazing. They're just as good as the stuff on the radio. So like my streaming list, my playlists are, it's all my buddies that are just like phenomenal. And so I get to hear this really inspirational music all the time, some of which have sold, 1,000 streams. Some are 10 million. Like that's just part of the game. That's
right.
Whatever. But like, I can find myself being accidentally checked out of like what's the cool new thing, and not because I'm trying to be above it or outside of it. It's just I get in the hopper.
Yeah, and living. I said a while ago, you never know who's looking at you, what kind of inspiration you're gonna be. But that work ethic you got, getting up, waking every, and grinding, wanting to write. That rubs off on a lot of people. It rubbed off on me because I definitely didn't do that. And when I first met you, I saw how you lived your life. You live, breathe, sleep, everything music. And, I didn't never known that. I never seen anybody.
That's hard for me to believe because you're one of the people that, to me, you're one of that do it. You're in.
Yeah, I mean, I work hard as I can, but, we all have people that we learn things from. And, there's a song that you did when I first heard you, and I won't say the name of it or nothing, but when I saw you do that song, I'm like, well, just him remembering all the words of that song is a great feat. And then, everything else about it. And then, it wasn't long after that, man, you were just best friends and all. But, man, your writing has influenced so many people.
I never thought about it like that, but thank you.
Well, when you have the guitar in your hand, I want you to do another one.
All right.
It's one of your new ones. I think it's called Waiting on Us.
Yeah.
Man, it's such a great song, if you don't mind. Would you mind playing that?
I don't mind. I wrote this one with Tim Jackson. That's also the only person I would say that I've written more songs with than you. Like when Tim and I get together, we churn one out pretty regularly, and it's usually pretty high. Tim Jackson and Chad Wilson are the people I know when I go in a room. When we leave there, I'll have a song, not just a song, not just Ticket we did, but like a song that I'm going to play all the time. And that's how I feel about Tim for sure. And this is one that, I just had this idea rolling around for a while where I've had the thought, and a million other poets and songwriters have too, where like, your love is like art, or your love is like music, or all these things, which is a beautiful sentiment. But I wouldn't really know how to approach that because it's so vague, but I kind of had the thought that like if you're with the right person, it's like further than that. It's deeper. It's big, even bigger than that if you can imagine it. So I tried to imagine like how far can you go down that rabbit hole, and so I was like imagining like the Sistine Chapel with the blank ceiling, and it's like sitting there waiting, and like I can't even paint this without some sort of, what is the inspiration, the muse. And when you're with the right person, it's like that's how big it is. It is the reason we even have art. So that's where we kind of started. I've always imagined this with like a Mark Knopfler, Dire Straits kind of production, which you will not get today because I have an acoustic guitar.
There is a vaulted ceiling that's yet to be touched by a brush, leaving the hand of the painter waiting on us. There are ivory keys hovering fingers above, leaving the hungry downbeat waiting on us. Inspiration is in need of inspiration. Why don't we give it some? And there's a ballerina, shoes laced up, standing still as a statue, waiting on us. And there's an eager sculptor who's got clay enough, her hands searching for direction, waiting on us. Inspiration is in need of inspiration. Why don't we give it some? The whole world is but an empty stage, and that's how it'll stay without you and me, babe. Inspiration is in need of inspiration. Why don't we give it some? Why don't we give it some, baby? Why don't we give it some? Why don't we give it some, baby?
I love a good song.
Thank you.
God, man, I love a good song.
But can't you hear Dire Straits? Oh, wow, wow. That's what it needs. And that's what it needs. Telecaster, single note Telecaster, some big washy stuff.
So what you got coming up?
Man, all kind of stuff. I go to Chicago tomorrow and play this weekend. Then I fly back here for one day and then fly to Mexico to open up for my mom. And then
we got to get everybody some Juanita shirts.
Oh yeah, Juanita Smith. Look her up, Juanita Smith. She's the real deal.
I'm gonna have. Hey, next time you come back, I want you to bring Juanita, Miss Juanita.
I will. Hey, I love it. She'll do it.
We'll put an extra chair at this table, and we will let her
laugh.
Yes, that'll be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, but then after that, the most exciting thing, I'm doing that Antlers and Acorns and the other Working Title Farm, the radio show we have, and then we're going. Why don't you tell them about that trip? That's a big star on my calendar. I'm excited about that one.
We're going a couple different countries.
Yeah.
We're doing Denmark, Belgium, and Ireland in September. We're going to be gone for about 22, 23 days. Going on a little tour.
Yeah.
Man, that's gonna be so much fun.
It's been a long time since I've been to Belgium too. It's one of my favorite countries to go to. I've never been to Ireland, but Belgium's one of my favorite countries, and so I'm really excited to go back and see my people over there.
I think that Boone, is it Boone, North Carolina?
Boone, North Carolina. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
So, like I said, there's Sherry Smith, my dear friend. We consider each other siblings, but it's her house, but it works. It's just a perfect place for a retreat. So, like, writers go there and finish their books. Songwriters go there and finish their albums. It's just a welcoming place for art. And after many years of doing that, we started brainstorming about different things. And they have put on stage shows before that perfectly blend literature and music together, and it's really something special. And after many of those, it kind of was like, we should do this and more people should see it. And so it's like we're gonna film it. So we have a large production team, and it's all in the works, and writer staff and the whole deal, and a full really killer band, and Radney as the host, and that's the flagship. That's the thing. But during COVID, it kind of pushed us back.
So you're band leader and helping produce that show?
Yeah, I'm a co-owner and co-producer of that with Sherry and Radney, and but they also were like, we want to do something in Boone to kind of like, one, because Boone is awesome, but that also just bring attention to Boone, because, and in general. And so they formed Antlers and Acorns, which is a really cool songwriter festival. You should all check that out. And many of the people that you love will be there.
Do you have another dates off the top of your head?
September. I should. Sherry's gonna
11 through 13, I believe, or 9 through 11, maybe.
That's it. 9 through 11. That's it. Sorry, I should have had that. September 9 through 11.
Beautiful place.
It's like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and it's definitely worth checking out. And it's all on my social
Mexico,
media.
Australia, Denmark, Belgium, Ireland.
Yeah.
You just got done with HP 40.
Oh yeah, Horsepins 40, man. That's an unknown gem, man. We got that. It's like Chad named it the Red Rocks of the South. Yeah. It really feels like it. There's like a natural rock formations, and they have all this really cool lighting on it, and a huge stage, and they put on a songwriter festival that I've been fortunate enough to do a few years, and it's just beautiful. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to the next one. That was a couple weekends ago, last weekend.
Yeah,
not long ago.
We've been together now, you and I, the whole month.
Let's keep it going. You coming to Mexico? Let's go.
I will.
We're gonna play rock paper scissors to who opens up for Juanita.
I love it. I think. Well, she is a little partial, I guess.
No, she's probably picky over me. But
no. Anybody got a question before I jump into something else? I'm finna jump into something else too about you got an album that you finna start recording. But before we do that, I always give everybody a chance to maybe ask some questions and see.
It's a question with microphones. Look at this. Jeff will ask you something about Dollar General. No, I'm sorry.
Okay, so you've talked a lot tonight about collaboration.
Yeah.
Different people bringing different things to the mix to complete a song. There's a lot of talk in the greater commercial music industry about using a whole number of songwriters versus one person completing a song. Your thoughts on that and how that develops into a songwriting technique?
Well, I think like most things, there's the truth is in the moderation. So it's like somewhere between the ends. I mean, so like I felt like how we did that song is totally natural. Like that song wouldn't exist. We were stuck on it. It might take us 12 years. We might have gotten there eventually, but it was like, I'm so much happier that song is in the world. And that's how a co-write is supposed to go. Like you are the person to finish this stylistically, and that's how that happened. What I think your question is kind of hitting at, I've seen a lot of stuff where there's like, a song where the chorus is like, yeah, hey, yeah, baby. And it's like 9 writers. I'm like, I'm like, which one of y'all wrote the first "Hey"? You know what I mean? Like, but that's not what it's about. That is a whole different beast. That's all because there's money behind the song, and therefore everybody's like, I will help work on the song, but you got to give me a cut of it. So like, it's really kind of a misnomer to say there's songwriters on the song. They're just like, hey, you know, I made part of the track, which, you know, it's valid. You know, that was part of the sound of that thing, because lyrically it was just saying, hey, 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 baby, hey.
But then,
so, you know, so there's some part of the creation process, but a lot of it will be like the producer wants a piece of it and this person wants a piece of it. But I feel like that's more of like so the music industry I always look at as that divide between those words is heavy on purpose. The music is art. The business is just business. Like, quit trying to make the business do music, because that's not what it's trying to do. It's trying to sell widgets.
Would you say there's a formula? There's a conception out there that the commercial music industry has a formula for hit songs.
Oh, as far as the creation of well, I don't know if I'm the one to ask that necessarily, but there's probably like to me but I mean, I'm a little bit more on the like, I'll get a chip on my shoulder and be like, we're writing this song, I don't care if anybody cuts it ever, you know, which is not, that's the music side. Then there's a gap right here, and these people are just trying to sell stuff, which is fine because you want them to sell stuff to a point. But you know, the far as like get to the chorus in 42 seconds or else it's a thing, and all that, it's like, I'm sure there is human psychology that bores after that, but I can play you legendary songs that break every rule that ever. So it's like, are you trying to get a whole bunch of songs that are here today gone tomorrow? You can make millions of dollars doing that, and that's what most of the industry is set up to know how to get money from it. So you also can't get mad at them. They're like, this is the game we're playing. Like, we're playing Monopoly. Do you want to play? Like, right. Don't get in thinking we're playing 7-card stud and then flip the table over because you don't like the game. Like, this is the game we're playing. Yeah. Either show up or don't.
Yeah, you can't hate it.
Yeah, but from the art side, you know, they'll even the industry will make more money on those songs that break the mold, but they're just fewer and far between. So they just go to work every day and chop on they know how to make this song that just fits in the mold, and they do it, and then they get lucky every now and then and get a smash that's like generational. But as an artist, like, that's for me, like, that's, I'm not saying I won't try to fit one in there where it makes sense and I feel like I can still keep my integrity. If I don't want to just write hey, 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 baby, hey. But if it's something that's like more commercial than I usually would do, I'll bend a little, like I'll look at it and see if I can do it without, you know, breaking out in a rash.
Well, but there's times there's times you grind though.
But yeah, and then but I'm more of the like, why don't we try to make this so good that who cares if it gets to the chorus in a minute and a half? Yep. It's so good they can't deny it, and right. It'll take you longer to get one, but when you stick that one, it won't be gone in a month. It'll be here next year and the next year and the next year.
That's right. If it's undeniable, it don't matter.
Well, I mean, all the people. That's what's so interesting. Like, all the people you look up to, go back. Like, the Beatles didn't do that. Led Zeppelin didn't do that. The Stones didn't do that. Like, none of the other people. I mean, a few of their songs, but if you look at the catalog, 80% of the songs they ever wrote didn't do that. So, like, why don't we aim at that? And if we fall short, we're still making art.
Do you think you can still be genuine and still do that?
Sure, for sure. Like, it gives me a lot of hope, because there was a while there where I was just feeling very, like, disappointed in the music as a whole. But, like, Nashville's kind of like the music city, so, like, it gets blamed for a lot of stuff that's really beyond the borders of Nashville. But because it's the place, like, Nashville, because it's like, why are you shoveling this stuff that has, it's like zero, it's all this side and no artistic integrity. But it's like so good for my soul to see these, like, a lot of up and coming people that are like writing just amazing things. Like, they're doing it. Like, it's right. And there's a lot going on right now that's better than I've seen in, like, a long time.
I agree, brother. I agree.
It makes my heart feel good.
It does. I mean,
today, writing with Dan Smalley. Dan Smalley's amazing.
Oh, he's
the real deal. Real deal.
Sure is.
And, yeah, he's gonna. Oh, I don't know. I never predict what this side's gonna do over here. It's like this is gonna be the next biggest thing because I don't know that side. I'm over in this lane trying to throw stuff over the over the fence
and
to
that's,
that
you know,
side.
that's the formula for being successful. If you spend your time worried about what somebody else is doing, you're just taking away and limiting yourself on what you can do. And you know, that's some good advice to give some of those younger cats that you know we get to hang out with sometimes. Anybody else got a question? Yes, ma'am.
Is Juanita on Instagram?
Juanita's not on
Juanita,
Instagram.
we got a question about
She's
Juanita.
on Facebook.
Juanita's only on Facebook.
Juanita's on Facebook. You could, I mean, if you could talk to her and maybe convince her to go over that stuff. But you have to realize, like, she's from, like I said, she's from the writing side, so she writes long, like she likes poetry and she writes these long posts and stuff that people love, and that's her medium that she's used to writing in. So like she's told me, she goes, I don't know about Instagram. It's just I feel that was Twitter. She don't like Twitter. She don't like anything. She's like, people are following me. I don't like that. Right.
So we should or shouldn't follow her.
Yes, you definitely should follow her. I'll just tell her it's something else. They're just liking your page. She likes people liking her page. You're liked by a lot of people. Does have a better ring than you're followed by a lot of people.
She is so good, man. I love that woman. Anybody else? Anybody? Before we move on to this next segment? Cool. You got so we talked about who you are and how you was raised and your influences and all that and where you at now. But coming up, you're gonna be recording some new music. So I'm interested to know. I know I get to see a side of you that a lot of people don't get to see. I've probably heard 100 of your songs that nobody else probably hear.
Right.
Just because you have so many. When you record an album, and now we're not talking just about one album here. I mean, how many albums have you got recorded so far?
So I was in that band I was telling you about earlier.
Right.
We did 4 studio albums and a live album. So we had, however you want to count that, 4 albums worth of material,
okay.
4.5 albums worth of material.
And then as your own?
And then as myself, I've put out. So it's kind of interesting because I've put out 4 studio albums, but in addition to that, I'm doing Fresh Song Friday.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. Yeah.
Oh, I don't mean to interrupt,
No.
but I mean that's part of the thing. I had so many songs, like he was saying, that I really genuinely love, and I was like, I mean, I'm looking at 250 songs that I love to play,
Right.
And I'm
how
like,
do I do 60 minutes of that?
well, yeah, and I'm like, well, how could, even if Sony signed me tomorrow and was like, we want to put out a double album every year. It's like, that's still going to take me 10 years. Like, it's not like I'm going to stop writing. Like,
right.
By the time we get done with that, so it's like the volume of stuff was more than I could ever get out. So I said, well, I don't want to get hit by a bus, not to be morbid, but like, I don't want to because most of these songs are just like in my phone or in my head. Like nobody knows them except you. So the reason for that series is just that. It's just like I wanted to archive them, basically. So every Friday, I will release a previously unreleased song of just me playing live like this, filmed, and this is week 124
in a row. That's Guinness Book of World Record kind of stuff right there. Yeah.
But it's a lot. I thought I was gonna do like 12, but it kept going.
But here's the truth.
And I released out. My point of all that was that I release albums every 11 weeks. I package them and put an album out. So there's 12 of those. Saying in addition to the 4 studio albums of all.
So even if you if you just picked your favorite song off each album you put out, you'd still have more than what. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I will tell y'all, here's the truth. There has been days that I've hung out with Eric Erdman that I didn't even have to say a word. That's true. That's
I'm sorry about that.
I like you more.
No, I love him for it. He's got the best story. I could sit here and listen to this fella talk all day long. I mean, I'm being facetious there, but not because I didn't have nothing to say, because you have some of the best stories now.
Oh, I appreciate it.
But
I've had a wild life. I feel very Forrest Gump-esque. I'm like, how did I get here?
Right. But back to what I was saying about all these good songs you got. So you're getting ready. I know we talked about Will Kimbrough. Yeah. I might have something to do with it.
Well, I'm not sure about that yet, but we're in discussion.
How do you I mean, you're writing with some amazing people. You write with Radney. You write with Dan Smalley, like you just said. Trick. You're going on all these places. You're doing all these things. How do you pick what songs you're going to record?
Man. That's the part when I was saying music business, like, I'm really just not that good at that. Like, I feel like I'm pretty good when I'm at a live show of reading the audience and saying, this is the time for a fast song, or this is a time for a slow song, or somebody said something previously and it perfectly weaves into this story that I can tell. Like, that's where I think I'm decent at that. But when it's like in a studio, like, what 10 songs? Like here's 500 songs that you love. Pick 10 of them. It's just like, it's just tough. And it's like, and it can, I also always follow where the song goes. So I have like 30 songs that feel reggae, and then like 30 songs that feel like rock and roll, and 30 that are more ballad. You know, it's like, it's so many. Like, if you pick the wrong ones, you're not going to get a good representation.
You've probably
of
written
what
30 in a different foreign language. Am I right?
I've written maybe 15.
All right, 15. So you could do a whole record in a different language.
I'm planning on doing. I was going to do a full length, but I think I'm just going to do an EP in French. So when we go to Belgium, I'll have a single from here and a French.
Well, are you gonna have it done before we go?
Yeah.
Good, because I'm gonna have to ask somebody
You mean
over there
go
if it's
tonight?
good or not.
Well, that's the way. I figure if I write in a different language, I'll just tell Chad that it's good, and he won't know that.
I'll let y'all know if it's good.
I wrote this one about you, Chad.
Right. And here we go.
Be about a boat.
Do you have any particulars that stand out that you've written maybe here recently or in the past year?
There's a handful pretty recently that. Well, that Waiting on Us, I like that for some reason. It's super simple, but something about it strikes a chord with me. And Softer Side of Diamonds I wrote with Russell Sutton. I really like that one.
Great writer. He just had top 10, number one. Was it number one?
I don't know, but it's pretty high up there. Oh yeah,
number one on the highway, top 10. Yep, with a song by Elvie Shane.
Yeah,
a great song.
Yeah, and he's a great writer.
So this is just your everyday. You just wake up and you just hang out with all these amazing people.
I get to hang out with these amazing people, and you.
I'm nothing amazing.
Whatever, man. You're my dude. You know that. I just got to give you a L every now and then.
Well, so you're managed by Big Barn.
Yep.
By a young lady named Angie.
That's right. She helps whenever you're saying how do you pick songs. She's gonna help me pick the songs because I'm not good at that.
Guess who she's gonna call?
Well, I was gonna say you're part of that too. They're part of that too.
No, I'm just kidding. She's gonna call
my crew
Christy.
Here is gonna help get the, I mean, I want to have at least a vote in the, I want to say and what songs go on the album, but
no, it's gonna be great. Man, you got so many good people around you. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited. This is good. COVID was such a strange year because, like we discussed, it like totally wiped out the biggest tours, two of the biggest tours I was ever going to be on, and I've toured most of the world, and the few places I hadn't been, those tours were going to take me there, like China, and I was like, this is amazing, and those are all gone. So that was clearly like a bad thing, but there were also so many songwriting relationships that I have been like slowly nurturing over like 10, 15, long time. And they wanted to write with me, I wanted to write with them, but they're on the road, I'm on the road. And when everybody got home on the road, like we all stayed apart for 6 months or something. But when it started to open up, there still were no tours and everybody's home. So like when you come to Nashville, this is right. So all the rights I've been waiting on for a decade, all just came through real fast. And then from those, that's where all these doing. So it was weird. It's like the songwriting side really ramped up exponentially. I didn't really foresee that happening, but it was because everybody's off the road from COVID. So COVID.
Think you could do one more of those for us?
Oh,
I'm throwing something on. It's a surprise. But yeah, do one more.
Do the one I wrote with Russell.
You do it. I love it. Eric Erdman, y'all.
I'm a man of conviction. I'm strong in what I believe, but that don't mean that I'm closed-minded. I'll be the first to listen to folks I disagree with, and I'll always hear the other side when I find it. I'm willing to hear any argument if they've got the evidence. I can be convinced. Show me the softer side of diamond, the dark side of the sun, or a lie that lies its way to being true. Find a dry spot in the ocean or a rainbow turn gray, and I'll listen to someone say that I wasn't meant for you. You've been my redemption, strong when I've been weak. There's no doubt you're more than my better half. Me without you, it's a contradiction. As sure as crows are white and snow is black. I'm willing to hear any argument. They're gonna need more evidence before I can be convinced. Show me the softer side of diamond, the dark side of the sun, or a lie that lies its way to being true. Find a dry spot in the ocean or a rainbow turn gray, and I'll listen to someone say I wasn't meant for you. Oh, I'll be yours, you'll be mine, until the day I find the softer side of diamond, the dark side of the sun, or a lie that lies its way to being true. Find a dry spot in the ocean or a rainbow turn gray, and I'll listen to someone say I wasn't meant for you. But there's no way I wasn't meant for you. Hey, softer side of diamonds.
Eric Erdman. So Will, you grew up listening to Will Kimbrough.
Yeah.
He's going to be on a tour, a world tour with Rod Stewart. Your mama is going to be an international superstar.
Right.
And every day you just hang out with greatness. So it's great to be Eric Erdman.
It is great to be me. I'm happy every day.
Well, tell us how everybody can find you, music and all that good stuff.
Eric Erdman Music on everything. It's on. If you just Google it, it'll pop up. But it's on all the socials. Eric Erdman Music will get you there.
Well, the last thing I want to talk about
Uh-oh.
is Fresh Song Friday.
Oh, okay. My bad. I jumped the gun on that. That's my fault.
You just said it a few minutes ago, 126 straight weeks.
I think this week's 124. Close enough.
Now, for y'all that don't know what Fresh Song Friday is he committed a long time ago. Over 3 years? 2 years?
I can't even really remember. I think 2.
2.5 years.
Yeah.
So you committed to.
You do math. 52.
I don't math well.
A few.
You committed to putting out a new song every Friday, and you probably had no idea it was going to go this long.
Oh no! No way. I was like, I'll just do it for a while.
Here
we are.
That's some commitment, because there's been weeks you're out of town.
Oh yeah,
God,
that's what makes it tough. Is because even though I'm constantly writing, I'm gone all the time. So like I don't always have time to do it. So sometimes I'll have to like jump in and do 2 or 3 of them and just make sure I have one before I'm going to Mexico. Like I won't be able to record the thing. So I might try to do some renegade recording while I'm there. But anyways, it is a little logistical, a little bit of a nightmare, but it became like this thing where I'm proud of it, and I like doing it. So it's like it also keeps me honest, so I don't slack. 2.5
years, every single Friday putting out a new song. That's incredible. I mean, if you think about that, if you stop and think about what that takes, that's incredible. Man, what a.
Well, I've been lucky enough to have you be a guest on it. Where applicable, I have my buddies come and do the songs that they co-wrote with me. It doesn't always work, so I do it myself. But where I can, I get them. And Chad's been nice enough to do, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5. I don't know, been on a handful of them.
Yeah. I enjoy anything with you, man. And I
Likewise.
think everybody else does too. What y'all think about Eric today?
Oh, thank y'all. Thank you for having me on the Real Music Nashville.
Yeah. Well, be safe on your travels. So, going to Mexico, Australia, Belgium, Denmark, Ireland, but June the 20th and 21st.
That's right. I'll be in my
This is going to be the biggest show. No, I won't say biggest show, but your hometown, 2 nights in a row. Your first night sold out, so he had another show, and it sold out too.
Yeah. I was pretty proud of that, too. I love the People's Room in Mobile. It was a listening room. It's a really cool, intimate venue. Actually, it's where Mom's sold-out show is that you're going to. And
Sweet.
If you're ever in Mobile, go to the People's Room. It's a nice little listening room environment. And it had been a while, so I was like, I don't know. I was like, let's do a show. But I was on the road constantly, and the calendar was full. So I was like, we can try Sunday. Like, we don't normally open on Sunday, but we'll just do it. And he put it up, and it sold out. So he's like, you want to try to sell out Monday, too? We're like, all right. And then it sold that one out. So maybe I should have done Tuesday.
All right, Garth.
But luckily, Chad's going to be swinging through, so we're going to have a little special surprise. I wasn't really going to divulge it to the people, but it's already sold out, whatever. They can't get it now. The people that are getting it you're getting Chad. Anybody with a ticket out there?
Anything around here people come see?
You know what? I don't even know.
What's your schedule next 3 weeks?
Well, this week, Chicago, back, Mexico, then Mobile. I'm trying to think what's the next right after that. I mean, that's about 2.5, 3 weeks from now by the time I get to that.
Right.
So July, I have a big tour. I'll start in Chicago and go all the way down to San Diego, up to Seattle, and back to Chicago. So that's going to be a while.
People better catch you while they can. If you're coming through their city, they better come see you because they ain't gonna get a lot of chances.
And when gasoline is $12 a gallon, I also need a solar-powered car. If anybody could possibly help me out.
I got a 2-seater bike.
Y'all seen those like elliptical bikes where people are like, "This me and Chad will be on tour." We just have our
guitars on our back. That's gonna be your album cover.
But when we get to San Diego, man, we are gonna be ripped up.
Man, I love you to death. I can't thank you enough for coming here today because of that. Oh man, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, man.
From
thank you, Mitchell.
Yeah, I want to send a shout out to Mitchell, Madison, and everybody that helps us pull this off. And I for y'all for coming, and especially just. Man, I know I just love you to death, and I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much, y'all. That's the Deconstructed sessions today from the Real Music Nashville studios, y'all. Thank y'all so much.
If anybody needs anything deconstructed
The way you like it, I dig it when you dig it on me. With you curled right beside me, there's no place I'd rather be. When you start to smile